Sehana Bhavatu Sehano Bhunaktu Sahaviriyam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadithamastuma Vishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May God protect both teacher and student. May He nourish us together. May we work together with great energy. May our studies be enlightening. May there be no hate among us. Om, peace, peace, peace. Thank you. All right, so I propose that we continue about the subject that we spoke last, about journey from mindfulness to mindlessness. I definitely like to encourage you to share your views, and if you have any questions or any comments or anything that you like to share, let this be an open house, two-way.
Acharya, we did have a discussion on this in your absence last Tuesday. And what came across was that mindfulness is all about awareness. And mindlessness is all about consciousness. And
Yes.
we felt that that's the basic difference between the two, although they are leading to the same goal, if I might say, preparing us for the seat of meditation, if I call it.
That's nice. So since you already had some kind of discussions about this, it gives me opportunity to clarify a few things or dig into it a little more. I wanted to ask what really means the mindfulness. As you just said, awareness. Okay. Are we not mindful already? I guess we are all mindful of what we do. If we are already mindful of what we are doing or speaking, then what is the emphasis on being mindful? What is mindful? Now, our discussion, our sharing is only based on the understanding according to spirituality. So we refer to what we understand and point of view of spirituality about the mindfulness. And I invite others, everybody to share whatever is your opinion, whatever is your understanding.
Acharya ji, mindfulness is basically when we are doing certain activities, we are basically concentrating and whole consciousness and what is directed towards that I'm doing that particular activity. It's not that automatic, like we are thinking. There is a coordination between thinking and our activity. So that is the...
Very nice. So I want to pinpoint here is you made some amount of statements now, words that words that came out of your mind as a flow. Yeah, you made a couple of sentences. Now, before 2 minutes or 3 minutes before you made the sentences, did you think about it, or it just came spontaneously all your sentences you just said about mindfulness. So if you had not prepared about what you spoke just a couple of minutes ago, and it came out of your mouth spontaneously to express your understanding about mindfulness.
Mindfulness.
First, we must know, did we prepare to speak or it just happened? That's my question. Then I talk further.
No, at this juncture, it was a reaction when you ask a certain question. Otherwise, I had thought all these things, but at this juncture, I was not in control that what I am speaking, because it was a provocation. The question was asked from you, and then I answered it.
Very nice. So, who or what gave you that inspiration or those promotion to speak?
External stimuli gave me the thing, and then my mind process, my intellect or mind processed those information, external stimuli, just like a question you asked, and then whatever was stored in my mind, and it was processed, and then I could speak about this.
Good.
Retrieving
So,
this.
yeah. So, as you probably kind of coming to the point where what I wanted to say is that most of the time, without our knowledge, our reaction is based upon our sanskaras. When I say sanskaras, is mostly the memories, and our memories is based on the informations and knowledge that we have gathered. And after whatever process, mental process and your own filtration of your information, you come up with the reaction of certain situations or statements. But what you need to be conscious about is what or who gives you that inspiration or that provokes you to react or respond in certain manner. Why not otherwise? So concentrate on that, and that becomes mindfulness. So as I started saying that usually we are all mindful of what we do or talk, but in terms of spirituality, when we say mindfulness, it is three: alert, being alert, which is normal, alertness, then awareness, and at the same time, you are aware of your own sentence that you make. So when I'm speaking now, I have not prepared myself to respond in this manner. It just happens. Why does that happen? It happens because there are a lot of memories that are stored, and without our knowledge, at certain situations, the required informations are collected, picked up, and mind automatically formalizes the sentences, and it flows through your mouth. Now, all these things is not in our control. We have not prepared about it, yet it happens. And who or what happens, what enables that to happen is the consciousness. So mindfulness is so important for our daily life. But time comes when you have to be mindless. And that mindlessness is not that you are absurd-minded or you are mentally crazy. That's not mindlessness. Mindlessness is that you are totally in control. You are aware of all, yet you have the strong experience and wisdom in believing that all that exists, all that happens has its own divine purpose. And it's not that one is doing, no one is doing, it just had to happen, that's happening. With that clear experience of wisdom, you remain active in whatever day-to-day life. So normally you and I will be doing the same thing, but when you are doing that contemplation mentally all the time, and you have a consciousness that you are conscious about this, that I'm not the doer. Let whatever is happening, let it happen. I cannot stop, or I cannot change. When I cannot change or stop, I have no right to interfere or comment or make judgments. Remain equipoised, make no judgment, right or wrong, good or not good. Let it happen. Just observe. And when you let it happen, that's being mindlessness. Everything, all activities will go on, but you are not getting attached to it, number one. You are not claiming the doership, which means you are refraining from egoship. You are not allowing your ego to play a role. And that's mindlessness. Everything else will remain. Apparently, everybody will notice that your day-to-day operation, your life, your activity continues as it is. It is just the subtle awareness of you are not the doer. And I am pure consciousness, and I am performing my role. And then continue all your activities. With that attitude, whatever that you do will be considered as done while in mindless state, which means you are not attached to it. Your ego is not claiming doership, and you are accepting as things as is. When you accept things and people as is, you are refraining from engaging yourself or indulging yourself into the game of action and reactions, and thereby creating agami karma. So it is, and all the time, as I mentioned earlier, which is my crux of the subject, is that be conscious as to who is the cleaner. I sent you an image of a brain being vacuum cleaned. It's not important to know only to realize that we have to do the cleaning. Who is the cleaner? Mind per se cannot clean itself. You think the mind can clean mind itself? No. Mind is part of this prakriti or maya, which is so, it's a delusion. In a moment, it will change your perceptions and not let you proceed further on what is known as staying in awareness of being consciousness. So that's the power of maya, power of mind. So mind per se does not clean itself. So who is holding the vacuum cleaner? What is it that is cleaning your mind? And mindfulness is nothing but collection of informations and knowledge and all your sanskaras and your memories, which is okay for your day-to-day life. It helps a lot. But you need that vacuum cleaner to clean. What is there to clean? There's nothing to clean. It only means purify, which means when you see a thing, yeah, and if I see a thing, I have some perception about it. Somebody sees the same thing, has different perception based on your what is known as sanskara, your memories, your own personal experiences through many lives. So the cleansing is more important. And that's what it means, vacuuming your mind, which means try to cleanse your thoughts, try to clean your attitude, your perceptions, your approach. And that cleaning leads you to purity. And that purity leads to wisdom. And when the wisdom prevails, everything remains as it is, but you will be in the state of mindlessness, which means you are not attached to it. You are not the doer. You just be aware and let it happen. Let it happen. So emphasize is two things. One, who is the cleaner or what is the cleaner? And what does that cleaning process do? The cleaning process, what is it doing? It slowly changes your sanskara, which means you cannot change what is done. But henceforth, you will give a direction to your sanskara. You will give direction to your thoughts and attitude and personality. So you move from being attached to personality, move it to stay in individuality. You remain individual, which means you stay with your own sanskara that you have brought forward, with the cleansing of your thoughts and sense gratifications. So when I say cleansing of thoughts or mind, it happens only when you have the sense gratification, which means if you remain in the same manner, the lifestyle of satisfying all your senses, there is no cleansing of mind. It's contradictory. You cannot purify your thought if your lifestyle is continuing in gratifying your senses. Sense gratification is the first step, which leads to cleansing, which actually means cleansing. And so cleansing of your thought leads to purity of your thought. And purity of thought gives you wisdom. So when you are speaking on any subject or when you are having a conversation, do try to do it a bit slow. Do not let this happen in a kind of robotic manner, which means what you speak, you must hear yourself very first before it reaches anybody. You hear your own voice. In other words, you must know what you are speaking. And when you know you're speaking, it will flow from your mouth without any preparation, because you are allowing, I would like to use the word grace, you're allowing the grace of your higher consciousness to help you in forming these sentences, there's a process that happens, which is what scientists have found out. There's a process that happens in your brain that on any subject in the world, there's some information which have been stored in your brain. Yeah. We do not even know. We are not conscious about it. We are not aware of it all the time. without our knowledge, there is some amount of information that we have, which we have not acquired in this lifetime alone. It could be from different lifetimes, but we do have it. The beauty of it and the mystery of it, when you are conscious about what you, that triggers and it activates the cell and derives the information. It works and it makes a kind of a sentence, forms a sentence. So it's not just one little thing. When I'm talking, if I remember something, if I remember some incident or some information that I have collected, and I try to link that in this context, that's one way of doing it, because then you are trying to use your recent memory. But you pick up a subject without being told in advance, and yet you are able to speak about it, maybe 3-4 sentences. How does that happen? How does that happen that you instantly able to connect it to something which you have not worked on? It's only in your brain. You have millions of informations already collected. That information have to be processed. And this happens only when you are in the state of being mindful. And that's why the state of mindfulness is very important, extremely important. But it's not the end. That's just very good for this lifestyle, for this lifetime. But when we talk about evolution, that mind is nothing but collection of informations and knowledge, which is good, but that's not what takes you further. What takes you further is dropping all the information, dropping off all the knowledge, dropping off all the doership, claiming everything that you think you have done. Drop all that. And when you are nobody, and you say, I am nobody, I know nothing, you are then qualified to touch upon something that just is revealed. It's revealed. Because imagine if there is a glass already filled with water, you cannot pour further water into glass. You have to have a space in the glass for fresh water to come into the glass. So empty yourself first. Let it go. Make a space. Empty yourself. Mindlessness is nothing but emptying. Just remain being and not knowing or not doing, but being. Because knowing is good for something that is knowable, whereas we are concerned about something which is not knowable. When you are concentrating on something which is not knowable, all your knowledge of no help. What is helpful is just the surrender. It's just the attitude of gratitude, surrender, emptiness, mindlessness. And when you arrive to that state of mindlessness, all the doors and windows opens up suddenly, and then you have the vision, you have the sound that you hear, you have the inspiration that comes to you, what is known as intuitions and gut feelings. All that thing happens only when you are empty. When you have, it's it's the sages and the saints, the great sages and saints never went to school or universities. They did not study so much. And yet they came to a stage when the highest knowledge was revealed to them. But that was not taken as a knowledge. That was taken as the wisdom that revealed to them. And that it was something that you cannot express, you cannot even describe. It is just experienced. So everything that we know, everything that we think we can know is limited. It's limited because we are talking about something which is limitless. So when you take a support of something which is limited, it can take you to the farthest point. But from that farthest point to go to the peak where there are no path, there is no knowledge available because it's unknowable. You just have to surrender and stay there like an empty vessel and let things pour into it. You do not anticipate, you do not wait for it. It will happen. It just happens. Gautam Buddha did the awakening, it did not happen in just a moment. It happened after hundreds and hundreds of lifetimes that he spent. And yet, when it happened instantly. And after that, he did not. He remained as he was. His attitude, his looking at things change. And for him, it realized that there's nothing greater than spreading love, spreading wisdom, and being empty. Why would he go begging the food with empty bowl? He had all that disciples and people around him who could have brought food to him. But yet he every day went around begging food to show, to display that you continue your life as a saint or a sage and you do not enjoy your being a leader of or a guru or anything. You still are just remain empty vessel, just remain a being and continue your life as simple as possible. And that's when you are in mindless state, all that is revealed to you and it flows from your mouth. He instantly would give out some wisdom which was not anticipated. How did that happen? And it's not just Gautam Buddha, many of them, some of them are so well known, some of them are not so known. But there are so many who have led their life in the state of being mindless. So I now invite one of you to, or some of you to speak further or share or ask. How does this help, whatever satsang that we do? I mean, it gives you probably a good feeling to hear few such words every week. But in reality, how does it help all of you, or one of you, or some of you? How? What is happening? Are you, I mean, I anticipate sincere, honest answer. Have you ever even 5 minutes spent and thought on subjects that we have spoken about? Or it's just collecting more informations and feeling good for that 30-40 minutes.
Acharya ji, just one question. You just told this glass is there. When we're pouring the water, there is limitations. Then what is the limitation of our mind?
Please tell me again.
As you just told, everyone is giving example that when we are pouring the water in a glass, there is a limit. It will come out. That is okay. But what is the limit of mind? We storing all data, getting all data, and speaking all things.
Well, I think my giving that glass example is not taken into right context. My example of glass was to say that if glass is already filled with water, you cannot pour more new water into it because it's already filled. You need to empty and make some space in the glass so that you can pour fresh new water. Similarly, if you go on having your mind fully, let's say, occupied with all the knowledges and information gathered, there is no space to give you wisdom, to have that the purity of the wisdom, or purity of thoughts to bring in the wisdom. So what is important is that all the garbage, I'm sorry to use the word, but all the garbage that we have collected and storing it in our mind, which are not helpful at all in terms of spiritual evolution, it's a time you cannot empty it. It's stored, it is already stored. The only thing you can do is you do not pour that further. Instead, start cleansing it. When I say start cleansing it, first be aware of two. Who is cleaner? Is your mind doing the cleaning? No. Mind will not clean itself. You have to continue all what you do, remain completely in that moment, be present, aware that I am not the doer. And this, when you come, adopt this lifestyle, you are trying to clean your thoughts. And once you're cleaning your thoughts, try to stop activity that gratifies your senses, gratify your desires, your lust, your ego. Try to reduce that. So when you are, it's a multiple process, So when you do that as a lifestyle, what will happen is that your attitude, your thinking, your approach, your attitude will change, and it will bring more cleaning, your purity of thoughts. You have a choice either to, let's say, watch something which is very entertaining, and you have time, the same time, you have a choice to read or watch something which is of a greater value. Now, the choice that you pick is your free will, but also your destiny. But if you do it with awareness that I don't want to lose my 30 minutes of watching entertainment, is this 30 minutes, can I do some contemplation? Can I read something which is of greater value? Adopt that lifestyle, and time will come when that becomes your lifestyle, and which will help, let me say, cleansing of your thoughts, cleansing of your mind, which results into purification of your mind and your attitude, your approach, your personality.
Acharya, what about thoughtlessness? Is that also a
Thoughtless.
conscious? Yeah, I mean mindlessness, and I don't know. I'm now getting this word thoughtlessness. Is that also a conscious effort, or that
No.
also happens?
No, thoughtlessness does not happen. You cannot do it because you are part of that design. Our mind is designed for thoughts. mind is nothing but thought. If I ask you a question, what is mind and where is the mind? Usually people brain it here, but this is not mind. This is your brain. This is not mind. Mind is all over your part. Every single molecule in the body carries the mind. Every single molecule carries the mind. So it's spread all through your body, which is why the sense gratification, which are the five senses, which takes care of most of your activity, let's say eyes, seeing, hearing, taste, touch, smell. When you try to purify that, which is part of cleansing, what will happen is externally and internally, slowly you set a process of cleansing. And as it progresses, purification comes in.
But Acharya ji, that's mind cleaning is a very difficult one. How you can clean it? And second point, that ignorance. Can we ignorant the things? Suppose we are not liking to something, but it is useful, and so we are ignoring. Like yogas also, we know that if we are doing yogas, and we must follow all the instructions, and we must do exercise and all things, but still we are ignoring. Many people are ignoring. How they are ignoring? And why?
With the two reasons. One, either you are ignorant or you are acting based on your ego. When you are acting based on your ego, which means without you being consciously aware that doing certain practices, such as yoga practices, is a stepping stone towards in the direction of spiritual evolution. Yeah, it takes you. I'm not saying that's the end result. That's not the end. It's just that it slowly tries to change your lifestyles and change your mental thinking and your attitudes, etc. But when you say, "Oh, but I know it, and it's okay. I'm busy with this, my work. I have whatever activities to attend, and I can do it next time." Now, this could be result of two. One, as I said, you are ignorant of the value of this practice or this sadhana, or it's your ego. When I say ego, it does not mean in a negative manner, but ego is the very crucial. Most of our life, we act based on our ego or memories of ego. That it's okay if I don't do it today, I can do it tomorrow. Now, that kind of thinking is usually based on ego. That nothing will happen, I will be still fine, my body is okay, and my health is okay, I can catch up next time. That's not ignorance. That's mostly ego. Once you know I'm not talking about doing yoga practice. I'm saying anything in world, anything in life, anything in your day-to-day activity, whatever that you come, you should be aware of it. Why? How? Is this ego that is working? Or is it my ignorance that is working? Just be aware of it. Once you remain in awareness, things will start changing itself. You don't have to do anything. Things will change at appropriate time. Just remain in the present moment, be aware.
So, Acharya ji,
This is the state of mindlessness or mindfulness?
hmm.
Ignorance.
It is mindless because you are allowing things to happen. Whenever that happens, you are preparing and emptying yourself and letting it happen. By being in awareness, you are giving you a chance to things to change, which means you are not allowing your ego to play a role or reduce the role of your ego.
So that is the mindfulness activity.
No, when you are acting based on your ego or ignorance, you are then engaging into all activity that you do, being mindful. For example, let's talk about your example of doing yoga practice. You decide to skip particular yoga practice. How did you decide? Because you were mindful of it. That's why you made this decision. The same decision of not doing it with the attitude of surrender, that I'm extremely sorry, I'm just not physically possible for me to do, and I will do it next time. When you're aware of that and that thought, that changes everything. That changes everything. That means you are not allowing your ego to work.
That was the difficulty that sometimes we are not well and we are not doing yoga. That is the another reason, but that is not the ego. That is some difficulty.
No, so that is where you have to be present in that moment. You must be aware every single moment. Is this, what am I thinking, based upon my ego, or whatever decision I'm taking of doing this or not doing this is basically because I'm not capable physically, or it's because I think I can do it other time and not today. So that is a very subtle difference, which you will know only if you're aware of that and that moment. For example, let me give you my example. It gives me so much of uncomfortable feeling when I write a message to Aditi or Kapilji, or that we must have 7 and otherwise I am not. It gives me, sincerely, gives me very uncomfortable feeling. I don't like to speak such a way. I don't like to have that attitude. I don't want that. I'm ready even for a one person to spend my entire 1 hour doing it, because I love what I do. It's just that it motivates people. People right now, 6 people together, that's motivation for you all. That was my intention. So every single statement that we make, when you know you have contemplated about it, you are in total awareness why you say such things or why you think in certain manner. You are aware, and because you are aware, you take that decision or make sentences without your ego to play any role. So be aware. Just live in this moment, every single moment. When you're eating your food, are you able to count how many times are you chewing your food?
No.
That's the point of awareness. You are, most of our lifestyle, we either in a hurry, stand and eat, or you rush, or reading something, or watching mobile or TV or something and eating. Yeah, that's the lifestyle. That will not help in cleansing of thoughts, in changing our lifestyle. This is how you start your lifestyle. That you, when you want to, first of all, you eat only when you are hungry, not because it's lunch break or whatever. Then you eat, you just eat. Do nothing else, just eat. Try not to talk when you are eating. Try to look at what you are eating first. Smell it, look at it, admire it, be thankful for it. You remember in our culture, there is a prayer before eating. Why? It is nothing but a thankfulness. You're feeling thankful for being in a position to have the food in front of you. Yeah. How many people have worked on that food that you eat, starting from wherever the food has come from, whoever the farmers, truck driver who brought the food from one point to other point, your cook, your department store, wherever, whatever. And when you're eating, you chew and count. There are two reasons. One, that you are in that moment, you will have different taste. Second, your digestive system is then much more healthier. In Ayurveda, it is recommended that average vegetarian meal should be chewed for minimum 32 times. Forget about 32 times. We don't even bother to know that we should count. Whether you count 12 or 14, I could reach up to 16, I remember. And so usually you finish eating lunch maybe in 10 minutes. In such case, you would spend nearly 20 minutes because you are not in a hurry. You are chewing and being in that moment. So that's what I'm trying to say, the change of lifestyle that you do with awareness. For example, all of you go for a walk or don't go for a walk, but you do walk. Do you realize when you walk, when you take left leg forward, which hand comes in forward at a time? We all walk, right? So when you walk, you take your left leg forward. When you take left leg forward, what is your hands doing? Your arms, where is the arms? What movement arms are doing? What is the coordination of leg and arm? Have you ever watched our own walk? Just be aware. That's all it is. Just be aware. Usually, when your left leg forward, your right arm goes forward. And when your right leg forward, your left hand goes forward. That's usual. But how much? Is there any coordination? Is there any synchronicity that your left leg is, let's say, half feet forward? Is your arm going half feet forward? No, we don't know. The answer is we don't know.
It just come by practice.
So what our modern lifestyle has become robotic. We do not know. We just, from morning to night, we do different activities, but we don't have time to even check what we are doing. And when I say check what you are doing, in minutely, that's why if you remember in many times in meditation or dharana, dhyana, yoga nidra, I say, close your eyes and try to visualize. What does that mean? How does that happen? You rely upon the impressions that you have gathered. So now that you are all looking at me, if I ask you tomorrow, what was the color of my shirt? You might say black or white, whatever. But what I'm trying to say is that you be in the moment, you process, you notice things. It will happen. It will start happening if you live in that moment. Whether you, all small details, basically. And this is when you change slowly, it doesn't happen overnight, but slowly when you have that attitude of stay in the moment and aware, things will change. Your thinking will change, your attitude will change.
Acharya, do you think this would or might lead to forgetfulness also? Because when we have moved to the next moment and we did not process, then we probably paid attention to the stimuli, but we did not process the information.
Certainly, two things. One, there are memories that are stored without we being aware of it. Now that's part of the
senses.
Divine means divine. I would say divine mystery, because we do not have an answer for it. How does that happen? Maybe some scientists, maybe some gurus knows about. I don't know about it yet. In my personal view, forgetfulness is a virtue, a blessing. The reason is, more you carry your information and knowledge and all the, as I said, garbage that you have collected, which are not helpful in your spiritual evolution at all. How does it help in knowing something which is knowable if you know great amount of economics, for example? Yeah, you may be a greatest economics. How does that help to remain in the awareness, in the present moment, and lead a life of a yogi? And when I say lead a life of yogi, I mean try to think positive, behave positively, have the attitude of gratitude, all those virtues. Does that come just because you are a great economist or great scientist or great technician? Or no, it doesn't. It helps you in your career, in your day-to-day life, in this. It definitely helps. But that's not end of it. For me, I have one short, which is stored here, that this life is it's like a school. We are here to move from class 8 to level 9. Yeah, evolution. If you are in level 9, you have to evolve to level 10. Continuous climbing the ladder. That's your, so this is the opportunity to evolve. And when I say evolve in knowing who we are in essence.
Yeah.
What is this life is all about? So that knowledge is the only knowledge to know. All other knowledge are relatively necessary, but therefore, in my opinion, thoughtless or forgetfulness is blessing. You don't have to carry forward all your whatever that you have gathered. And remember, I am only in context of spirituality. I'm not talking about your career, your profession. No, there in your life, you do need to have, memories, etc. Your whatever, good, bad, positive, not positive, everything you should be aware in your day-to-day life. Therefore, the walking on the life of spirituality is always considered as walking on the sword's edge. It's not easy. It's not easy. And yet, that is the only way. That's the way to go. That's the only way, actually. All other things are passing time, and you come back again, maybe after whatever period of time, but
Acharya, this walk on the path of spirituality, is it a one-way street, or do you keep slipping back also? Because I feel I keep the minute I let go of the grip, I kind of slip back or slip down, or I don't know. Is there
actually,
something I need to hold on to?
as I said, all these different scriptures that we have, which has got so lot of things to talk about. But in my opinion, a humble beginning for all of us at our stage, our level, is just the purity of thoughts, cleansing of our thoughts, cleansing of our desires and our lust, greed. When you're aware of that, I have 5 shoes. Why would I take 6th pair? Can I not be happy without 6th pair of my shoes? Can I not be happy of, what I have? When will that happen? That will happen only when you make a point that, look, after all, people who know me, they know me. They don't know me because what clothes I wear, what shoes I wear. That's okay. That's external appearance. But if I have to know somebody, I would rather know the person about his attitude, about his values, about his thoughts, about his, wisdom, and not the status, not the label, not the tags, not the money or wealth that he holds. That's not important. So go from the root level, basic changes slowly in terms of thinking, terms of approach, terms of treating people around you. And that will help a lot. That is why the Christ said, first only thing he says, love thy nature, love your neighbor. He didn't preach great thing. He just said, love your neighbor, which means brotherhood, which means the love is only important currency. My question remains the same. 30, 40, 60 minutes that we are talking about something. Do you find 5 to 10 minutes ever until next Tuesday to think about it again? If the answer is no, I'm happy. If answer is yes, you encourage me.
Yeah, Acharya ji, after satsang, what happens that we are having some information based on which we conduct ourselves. And association, what we have, basically motivate to think what we are doing and what are the thoughts we ought to, and we are getting new thoughts, new wisdom, sort of listening new wisdom, not like inculcating a wisdom, because wisdom cannot be inculcated. So that that's the main thing we are having in satsang.
I only want to encourage you all to find your own teacher within yourself, your own guru within yourself. And that can happen only when you are spending some time, I would say 10 minutes in 24 hours every day, to just sit in silence and stillness. Do not even pick any subject. Don't have to do anything. Just nothing, no particular studies, nothing at all. Only thing is 10 minutes of sitting in silence and stillness with awareness. That's it you do. Then you see what happens. Then you see what happens to you. All that we have collected, all that we are talking about it, you already know it. All of you know it. All of us know everything. We have lost the path. And when you are able to be in silence and in stillness, it's mysteriously you have that in front of you. It may not come to you straight away. In the beginning, it will only give you such a pleasant feeling, which is a very good beginning. But first, find 10 minutes. Find 10 minutes to your own self. No matter how busy you are, find 10 minutes to sit anytime during the day. That's all I'm suggesting. Thank you very much. Let's close with the prayer. Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityurma Amritam Gamaya Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you, God, for giving us air to breathe. Thank you, God, for giving us water to drink. Thank you, God, for giving us sun for energy. Thank you, God, for giving us food to eat. Thank you, God, for giving us all that we need. Thank you, God, for your love, your protection, your guidance, your blessings. Thank you, God, for the existence. Thank you for giving me a chance to serve you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Acharya ji.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Acharya ji.